This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
So the Trump administration has been using this attack that happened right here in San Bernardino as a way to justify the travel ban. I wanted to be here. I wanted to understand, what do the people who were actually affected by it think about the whole thing?
You could hear screaming and all of the gunshots.
Sally Cardinale and Hal Hauser are survivors of the San Bernardino attack.
He came in, started spraying from north side of the room down to the south side where the Christmas tree was, and he ran out of bullets right about the middle of the Christmas tree. He killed 3 guys to the left of the Christmas tree, but I was saved because he ran out of bullets and he was reloading. And at that point in time, I said, probably a good time to run.
Your lives have been changed permanently, and the political environment seems to have also changed in a very, very major way. When you hear the new president talking about what happened here and calling for keeping certain countries out, does that strike you as good or bad?
I disagree with it. Mentioning San Bernardino in that context as a justification, I feel like it doesn't really make any sense.
Why not?
Well, the people that did this, one was homegrown and the other one was from a country that's not on the banned list, so it wouldn't have prevented our shooting. After
everything that you went through, everything that you saw, you don't think it's worth it to hold them all back and
No, I think that's, if you're going to hold an entire nationality or an entire religion responsible for the actions of a few people, that's really walking the line of civil rights violations and human rights violations.
I know you care about civil liberties, but does Trump's policy make us safer, though, from your point of view?
I don't see how it's making anybody any safer. I think that there's a concern for people that are already in the country that are United States citizens. But what are we doing to address that?
Now, you're somebody who's been a Trump supporter. You voted for him. What do you think?
Well, I hated when it was called a Muslim ban because, you know, we had a couple Muslims in the office that are the sweetest people in the world that got shot and everything by another Islamist, whatever you want to call him. So I had to go and look into the law a little bit more, and okay, these are countries that don't have very stable governments. You don't have very good information abilities to screen people from those countries. That's the rationale I saw.
Is there not a danger that by being this tough on these countries and maybe doing too much of a broad brush, could you wind up creating more terrorists?
If that's the way it's trumped up by the ISIS people to use as a recruiting tool, it's very possible. But Israel hasn't had a terrorist attack in its airports since like 1978 because they do severe screening. You know, you take longer to get into the country, but you get into the country eventually if you're not a person that shouldn't be coming there in the first place.
A lot of Trump supporters are happy about this. They feel like Obama wasn't paying attention. Trump is paying attention. Is that a good thing? Even if he's maybe not getting it all right, is it a good thing that he's at least trying to do something?
That seems to me to be appealing to the lowest common denominator, because those people that believe these countries are all inherently bad are outside the fringe of normal. They really don't speak for me, and I know they don't speak for a lot of other conservatives. Somebody asked me the other day, do you feel any safer because of the ban? No, I don't, because it would not have affected my situation one iota. The president has made it a valiant effort at doing something right and kind of screwed the pooch and needs to step it back a little bit and clear it up a little. But yeah, I have no problems with screening for radical Islamic terrorists, but you know, we found out we need to start at home with that too.
You guys went through this together. You come out pro-Trump, you come out anti-Trump. Are you still able to be friends?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I think if you remove the labels and talk about the issues, there's a lot of common ground that people have. I think it removes that animosity.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. If you guys can go through what you went through and have different political views but still find a way to take care of each other and support each other, the rest of the country has no excuse. And I hope that becomes a lesson out of San Bernardino.
I hope so too.
Welcome back to The Messy Truth. I am here with my special guest, Bill Maher. Bill, I want to go back and talk about the travel ban, but from a different point of view. I drove out to San Bernardino, and that's a city, as you know, is rocked by this brutal terror attack. I wanted to talk to the people who actually live there. That's like the West Coast ground zero. What do they think about the ban? Check it out. San Bernardino, California. In December of 2015, this city was the site of an unspeakable horror. It started here at the Inland Regional Center. 2 terrorists, husband and wife, killed 14 people and wounded 22. It ended hours later right here on this stretch of road in a shootout with law enforcement that left both terrorists dead. The attack was inspired by ISIS. 5 days later,
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
And 14 months after that, President Trump issued his controversial executive order. So the Trump administration has been using this attack that happened right here in San Bernardino to justify the travel ban. I'm here to find out what do the people who actually live here think about that. I want to know, what do local Muslim military members have to say about all this?
My name is Jose Valle, and I serve in the Marine Corps.
I served in the United States Marine Corps from 1985 to 1989.
I am a commissioned officer, prior enlisted NCO, United States Army, and currently with the National Guard.
When you hear about the ban, do you hear do you hear it more as a Muslim ban or as a travel ban?
In my opinion, it is a Muslim ban. It is strictly directed at preventing a certain type of people, and in this particular case, Muslims, from coming to the States.
He's pretty much making good on his promise to, I guess, rid this country of Muslims. I mean, that's the way I see it.
I'm going to take a different point of view. Obama did have a very similar vetting process. So Donald Trump, who is our commander-in-chief, he is basically doing a 90-day travel ban. And it has to do with some internal conflicts that the countries are going through. I think it's really important for us to work together as a nation, though, and stay united.
You're an active soldier, you're a Muslim, you're a woman.
Right.
Do you think that there's any danger, regardless of what the intention is, that when you put a travel ban like this in place, that there may be some blowback that the military has to worry about?
Absolutely. It is, unfortunately, a tool that will be used for ISIS as recruitment. They're saying, you're not welcome in the United States. And if you're not welcome here, it goes back to human nature, to basic human psychology. You go, quote unquote, where the love is.
With ISIS?
Right, absolutely. You know, and that's what's really heartbreaking. And that's something that the commander-in-chief and his cabinet need to really focus upon.
I really don't see it as a situation where you know, people are going to say America's not going to let me in, so all of a sudden I'm going to sympathize with ISIS. I don't necessarily believe that's the problem. The problem is that we're not acting like America. That's the real problem. That's not the America that I fought for. That's not the America that, you know, my forefathers helped build. That's not America. That's the real problem.
You know, what's so amazing is those are 3 different people. They're all Muslim. One's Latino, one's black, one's Pakistani, I believe. They had completely different opinions. When we talk about Muslims, you know, it's sort of, what are we talking about?
Well, the scariest thing I heard there was when the woman said, they'll go where the love is. Go where the love is. When the love is ISIS? That should be frightening to everybody. I mean, go where the love is, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up. The guy with the biggest teddy bear, go where that love. But to go to a group that throws gay people off roofs and burns people alive and has sex slaves and believes in raping them into...
What do you think about the refugees? In other words, what you're describing something horrible, and I think everybody agrees with you. The United States also been, you know, bombing the crap out of that region. Some of them are saying, we're trying to get out of here. We want to come to the United States. We actually believe more like you.
Look,
should they be able to come?
I believe in the traditional American approach to refugees. First of all, we are a humanitarian country. We're a compassionate country. We have always let a certain number of people who probably were in the most dire situations that were going to get killed if they stayed where they were. But the policy certainly in the West can't be that we just completely empty out the Middle East. Well, but really, I mean, that's sort of what they started to do in Germany last year. Angela Merkel let in 1 million, I think, refugees from Syria. I mean, that is not a practical policy. Let me just finish, if you mind. I can see you jumping in, but what they should have done, in my view, is with that many people, create refugee centers, train them, turn them into an army so they could take over their own countries. One of the problems I have, or worries I should say, with Islam is that the moderates don't win. When was the last time the moderates got a victory? We got to create a moderate Muslim army that can go back into those countries and take on ISIS. Because I hear a lot of people joining ISIS. I never heard of one person going and, oh, let me go there and fight ISIS.
Well, I tell you what, I think that we need some more creative thinking like that. We also, fortunately, we do have a bunch of Muslims who have taken the fight to the enemy, and I want to go out in the audience and talk to one. This is an incredible story, and I want to get your, even you are going to be moved, touched, inspired.
What do you mean, even me?
I'm saying, just because, you know, sometimes you gotta understand what's happening with these guys. So listen, here's the deal.
I do.
Yeah. You are friends now, but you didn't know each other even just a few weeks ago.
Yes.
I want you to tell the story. How is it that you decided to go to the airport on the first day of the travel ban?
You know, honestly,
You're a veteran?
I'm a veteran, yes. It had nothing to do with the policy. You know, fortunately, I was raised by liberal parents, and they instilled a strong value system. And in this case, when you see something that's not right, you have a moral obligation to do something. And as a father now, I wanted to instill those same values. And so that's what got me to the airport. Do I disagree with the order? Absolutely. But that's what brought me there.
So talk about the gift that you gave to your friend.
I gave him one of the Purple Hearts that I was awarded in combat. You know, thanks.
What did it mean to you? You're arriving, you're somebody, you've helped America, you're somebody who was a translator and a helper for our forces in Baghdad. Your wife is coming to the United States. She's detained at the airport. What does it mean for a veteran to come and give you his Purple Heart on a day like that?
Well, Jeff's Purple Heart meant to me that right now we are going through a movement in our country that's so strong and so powerful that a wounded warrior decided to give his medal to a complete stranger. Regardless of the bans and all the orders happening right now, look, we have a lot of political contention right now going on. But on different level, on the level of people, there is another message, a message of unity as opposed to being divided.
And the takeaway that I want, the message that I want, and we left the airport, my family and I, with nothing but positive feelings. And it really instilled not just to my kids, but to myself, that it really, one just random act of kindness really can make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's the message, if people leave today and everywhere, if that's the message.
Beautiful. There is nothing messy about that truth. Thank you very much. Give them a big round of applause. Very good. So, I know you love stuff.